excited today to be here to share with you another guest. All right. So the way we do it here is we like to know who's out there supporting us and inviting other people so we can just shout you out and welcome you onto the show. So, who's out there? Go ahead and just put in there where you're chiming in from because we love to welcome you as well. And the other thing is, if you want to definitely say hello to us back, other than just where you're chiming in from, that's welcome as well. So go ahead and put in the chat where you are chiming in from. I'll definitely shout you out one way or the other. So, who is out there for this particular Sunday? All right. I'm looking and seeing who's out there. Okay. Hey, Rich Rising family, ATL is in the building. Yes. Thank you. One of our top supporters. We definitely appreciate you. Absolutely. Thank you ever so much for your support. Who else is out there that we can shout out and welcome? If you don't put it in the chat, I'll still shout you out anyway. But ATL, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I see out there Alvin. Hey, Alvin, welcome. Oh my goodness, who else do I see out there? Jessica, welcome. Glad you are here. So we definitely are enjoying doing this each and every single week. I mean, can you believe it? We are over a year now and into the second year, welcoming our definite people. Just because of our purpose and our mission is to get out there as much and share the stories of people that are actually getting more financially educated as well as investing in real estate. And we definitely like to bring the juice to you. So if you definitely want to show up and show out, let us know where you are chiming in from because we definitely want to shout you out. All right, people. Who else is out there? Yolanda. Welcome, Yolanda. Glad you made it in. This is definitely an interesting strategy today on real estate, but we are excited that you all are definitely here. Absolutely. Before we get started, oh, there you go. Yolanda says, I am from Pasadena, California. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you ever so much. Absolutely. All right. Who else is? There we go. Alvin is like, I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. All right. I see you. Thank you, Alvin. Thank you ever so much. All right. So we are definitely loving to share that we have talented people everywhere in front of the camera as well as behind. And the one thing that we definitely enjoy is our own video. So I never get bored listening to it or dancing to it. I absolutely get a kick out of it. To me, it is absolutely fun. And the people that jumped in on the video as well, just because they wanted to be a part of the Juice Show. I kid you not. When we travel, people are like, I want the t-shirt. I want to be in the video. And yes, we do have more merchandise coming. And if you have any ideas of what type of merchandise you would like to see of the Juice Show, let us know. You already know we have t-shirts. So if you're looking for other merchandise, feel free to let us know what that would be because we definitely want to take this to the international level and beyond. But we truly like to share because that is what the biggest thing we like to do is share the story because it's so getting to the point. Oh, there's our video. So if you can hear it, feel free to dance along. I kid you not.
Yeah! Yeah! Come and get the juice! Yeah.
Juice is respect, power. How far will you go to get it?
Yes, how far will you go to get the juice? Absolutely. So let's get this party started. Welcome, Dakar. I want to introduce the Juice Crew, and then I'll go ahead and introduce the guests. And then I love the story that we have to share as well. So the Juice Crew is James, Jerry, Bobby, Teresa, Chauncey, and myself, LaShawn. All right, here we go. The legacy journey. 5 years ago, after dropping her son off for an Air Force boot camp, she made a commitment to build a legacy that would make him proud. That moment ignited her real estate journey in just 3 years. She didn't just learn real estate, she scaled it. She dove into a top-tier educational program, surrounded herself with driven masterminds, and immersed herself in learning creative, high-impact investment strategies. In just 3 years, she didn't just learn real estate, she scaled it fast. From single family to co-living. She don't specialize, she dominates every lane. She's embraced every model with strategy and speed. Knowledge opened the door, execution kicked it down. Success in real estate is about mindset, movement, adaptability, and mastery. Think big, execute bigger. That's her formula. Luxury, multifamily, midterm, co living. The market doesn't define her. She defines the market and a strategy for each deal. Success in real estate isn't just about properties. It's about a mindset, a movement, an agility, adaptability, and mastery. She don't wait on opportunity, she builds them. From masterminds to multi-units. She's made the mindset her biggest investment. Real estate is a strategy, and her strategy is learn fast, act faster. 3 years, multi-asset types, one truth, execution trumps everything. She built a business with 500% growth in both buildings and doors. And more importantly, she built the purpose. Today, today, she mentor working professionals on launching profitability, hands-off real estate, side hustle, proving that real estate is both a legacy, wealth building tool, and a path to empower. Without further ado, before we introduce our guest, Teresa, take it away.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. There's a woman scrolling Facebook Marketplace at 2 a.m., not for furniture, for somewhere safe to sleep with her kids. There's a graduate couch hopping because rent for a home costs more than their entire paycheck. And just down the street, there's a 4-bedroom home with lights off, doors closed, and money being left on the table. We keep calling it a housing crisis, but maybe it's not just about not having enough homes. Maybe it's about how we're using the ones we already have. Co living flips the script. It's not just real estate, it's relief, revenue, and reinvention. And today on The Juice Show, we're breaking down how this model is solving a real problem and building generational wealth at the same time.
So, without further ado, let me introduce to you Hannah David. Come on in, girl.
Yes. Good morning, everyone.
Welcome in, Hannah. How you doing?
Thank you.
Welcome in. Good morning. Good morning, the Juice Crew.
Good morning.
Good morning to all our guests, even on Facebook. See, you got a couple people on Facebook. Welcome in, Hannah. This is my friend Hannah, y'all.
Hey, good morning. Thank you, guys.
So Hannah, So tell us, kind of take us back a little bit, and kind of give us your story from arriving here, right? Arriving here to the States, and kind of give us a little bit of backdrop of your journey.
Thank you. There is a small delay with the internet, but that's okay. I will tell my story. Yes, I came to this country as an immigrant. I came with 2 suitcases. I come from a very poor family. There are days when we didn't have food to eat. We had to go to bed with an empty stomach. I know many on the call can relate to that. And also wearing torn clothes, going in the public bus transportation in India, and like your clothes are torn and you're just standing so embarrassed. Even when the driver is putting brakes, you can't just hold on to something because you have torn clothes, torn slippers. The heat in India, my feet would bleed because it was so hot and I had holes. But then you can't mind the discomfort. You have to just keep on going. I I had parents who believed in education despite acute poverty. I got my master's. Then I came to the States as an IT immigrant. Here, I rose through the ranks, passed different certifications, went back to Bentley, got a master's in customer psychology. I became a project manager, a management consultant. But I have to say, I stand here because of the grace of God.
Nice, nice. I knew you was gonna add that because you're a very spiritual person, and I love that about you. I truly do. So I gotta ask you, what do you feel like led you to this community or this path? Like I hear you in school, you got psychology degree, right? What led you down this path rather than the path that you were currently on?
Yeah. So when you are in IT, that too as a project manager, when you are looking into the contracts that the team is signing, so when you do all that due diligence in your real life, you're going to do the same due diligence. I interviewed 67 groups before I joined the education group that you guys are part of. And I literally put together a document of the pros and cons. And I saw that this was a community of action takers. It was dynamic, it was adaptable. They say engineers, can you believe, make the top percentage of real estate investors. That's because if a machine breaks down, you're just not going to go and hodgepodge fix something. You're very methodical. And so that is why I had to be structured and methodical. I'm not just going to go and put my money somewhere where it's not worth. So I interviewed 67 groups. There were groups like Airbnb, they had niches. I knew that I want a buffet style. Because the markets are dynamic, the different cities, the different zip codes. If you get a deal just 2 streets down, it's going to be very different from the deal that you have in your hand. So that is why I decided I need an education program that has a buffet of real estate offerings.
I love that saying, a buffet. Oh my God, I love that. I love that. All right, so my last question before I let these guys have at you, because they about to get at you, Hannah. They want to know some stuff,
Oh,
right?
no.
All right, so
You're going to feed me to the lions.
yeah, features to the lions, right? All right, so I just want to know about that shift, that day that you dropped your son off to the
Yes.
Air Force, and you said, "I'm done. This is that moment." What was that defining? What was that thought? Tell us, share with us what changed your mindset, flip that switch.
I was following members of the community, and my only regret, like many other investors, is I wish I had discovered this community and I wish I had joined them early. Like the best time to join us today, the best time to join us now. So I dropped my son at the Air Force, and on the way, it was a very silent ride. And I told him, I would have helped you with your education. My dad joined Air Force, and 2 years later, I found out my dad and my son, they actually have the same job title. So I was telling him, you have a mother. My father lost his mother when he's 2 years old. I'm alive. Why did you do this? And he said, Mom, it's nothing about you. It's about me being patriotic. And he said, I want to serve my country. And that was an eye opener. Actually, it was a very touching moment for me. So then I decided, well, if my son is going to be patriotic and he's ready to sacrifice for the country, then what am I going to do for my son? And I was like, I'm going to leave a legacy. So I had to, and when you go there, they say, well, if something happens to your son, so and so will contact you. So you sign those papers. That was the most painful moment as a mother. And I was like, I am going to do whatever I can to build a legacy for my son. And that was the life-changing moment. And in just a few days, I signed up for this education program. Thousands of courses, you can't go wrong. So,
Whew, that was powerful. What I got out of that, and what I hear a lot of people, is that it's always a mission that will take you beyond yourself. If you only focus on you, it's like you won't push yourself farther enough. But when you can attach to a purpose and a mission and a cause, then you push past. It's not just about me, it's about others and who I'm serving. And that is your flesh and blood son. So that's what I got out of that. And I thank you for sharing that story. That's beautiful. So tell us about that. How is life? You got married? How many kids? Just that one son, or what is it looking like?
yes, I have two sons. I have another son in college. He just graduated. Sorry, he graduated undergrad. He just has one more course. My husband works very hard. He knows that this is my dream. He goes to work at 3, 4 in the morning. He's extremely supportive. He works very hard. Every single day he goes to work. Even today he's at work. He works very hard to support my dream. My son is in the Air Force and he always calls on me, checks on me, and he gives me ideas and suggestions. So does my son in college. They support me, they give me suggestions. So I have a very supportive family, and that helps. Yes.
All right, cool. So you're in is that Boston, Massachusetts, or
Boston, yeah, 40
Boston?
minutes from Boston, west of Boston, all the
Oh,
way in the northeast. Yes.
all right, so let's talk about this. Before you joined the community, you were doing real estate, I hear, right? You were doing
Yes.
it for about 20 years before you met
Yes.
the community. At that time, you did really well. You was able to acquire 6 doors.
Yes.
Now let's fast forward into getting into community, getting educated, getting supported around people. What were you able to do in those few years you've been with us?
Yes. So for a real estate, right, there are two data points. Entry, then of course you have the ongoing operations, then you have the when you get a real estate deal, you have an entry strategy, you have an exit strategy, and then the ongoing operations. I didn't know about all the advanced entry strategies like seller financing, DSCR loans, hundreds of them, mix and match. Same thing, you get a deal, you sign it at the closing table, your exit strategies. You did short term, mid term, Section 8, work with other government agencies, hundreds. So after I became part of the community, it was very helpful because others were sharing about their strategies, what's working, what's not working, their entry strategies, their exit strategies. For 14 to 15 years ago, before I joined this community, I went to the bank and they said, you've maxed out. I just backed down and I didn't do anything for 14 to 15 years. So that's when I joined the community, my eyes opened. It was like Alice in Wonderland. I was like, whoa, like every turn. So, yes. But also, success comes to the action takers, right? You just sit, you listen to everything, and then you can't just go back to like scrolling and Netflix, which of course I do, but you need to take action. In the middle of all of that noise, you need to be an action taker. Yes. That's
Yeah,
the
so
key.
that was the thing. I'm glad you shared that. stuck at 6 because when you walk into the bank to get your 7th, they was like, "Oh no, we can't fund you. Got too many mortgages out," and that's what a lot of investors they come
Yes.
across and they tell us like, "I got 100 doors, but man, when they stopped me at 6, I had to be creative."
Yes.
And so when you came into the community, you start hearing about ways that real estate investors are acquiring properties, utilizing creative strategies or hard money, private money, or IRAs, 401ks, stuff like that, and then just helped you expand. So where did you go from there? 6 units, and then in a 2 or 3 year period, where did you jump to really quick to?
I'm almost at 40. I have a friend in the community. He does door knocking full time. I have a full time job. I have a family to take care of. And I also am busy with church activities and my real estate operations. So one thing I decided is I don't have time to door knock. But my friend Brandon, he found me a deal. I'm in the process of stabilizing that co-living home. And now he has found me another deal. So I asked him, these are my markets. This is what I want. And boom, he found me another deal. So I'm like, so excited. Yes.
Brandon Gilbert?
Miller.
Miller. Oh, okay.
He's like
Oh, he
yes,
hot.
he is
Yeah.
like a wholesale ninja. He has a
Wholesaling, yeah.
large team. He trains 15 to 30 of his team members, and they've all gone on to do amazing things. Like one person, Cody, he ended up buying an airport near Phoenix. So
What?
he is mentored by Brendan. Brendan is
Hey.
amazing.
Yeah, he
Cody
said he
and his
bought an
father were
airport.
flight
For the
instructors.
people who didn't hear, for the people that didn't hear in the back, yeah, they bought an airport. Yeah.
Yes, airport. Cody and his father, they were, I'm 90% positive it was his father. They were flight instructors, so it kind of yielded itself. Yes.
Wow. No, that's amazing. That is amazing. Just the power of the community and the power of
Yes.
education and what you're able to do. It is very eye-opening. So people take notes. So what I wanted to know, Hannah, you were doing real estate before you got into the community. What was your first deal like before you got into the community compared to the deal that you did when you were in the community?
Yes. So when I got my first deal, I paid market price. But one thing is, uh, as I just told a few minutes ago, you need to listen. Me and my husband, we were at a gas station. There was an Indian who came. Patels, they own most of the motel chains. They have acquired trillions of dollars in real estate. And I've written an article about the Patels. So, and it had like almost 10,000 views. So, most of them could have been Patels themselves who read it. So they're tough negotiators. They're like just like the perfect recipe for like the real estate investors, the ideal real estate investor. He said, don't waste your money buying a fancy house to show off to others. Get a multi-family. So I had a very low salary. My husband was in college. We were barely making ends meet. So I bought a small duplex in the heart of Massachusetts, and I rented one side. So even when we were between jobs, I had to pay my husband's college fees. Still, I was able to afford all of that because it was a duplex, and my payment was so house hacking is what I did. And for another 16 to 7, yeah, till today I'm house hacking. Yeah, I thought I got no. I've been hopping, but house hacking. Yeah.
Okay, all right. No, that's interesting. Just to give people a background on where they started, people who may be looking to join and doing their first deal on. So I like to get the experience of other people on their first deal and how that went. So tell us a little bit about the co-living experience and how you got involved in that.
Yes. Now, just before I say that, I just want to say something. Arnold Schwarzenegger he met an Asian realtor, and he's like, I want to buy this, like a palace. She's like, no, 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 Arnold, you're not going to do that. She made him buy like a 4 family, a 6 family, an 8 family. Every time he won on TV, this lady would come at 6 a.m. and wake him up, literally, take his sheets off and say, "We're going to buy this deal." Arnold, no, 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 you're going to listen to me. And he said he would just go and sign. But then all those properties, he sold them for like 8 times the original value he bought them for. So he house hacked for a long time as well. Yes.
Wow, that's a great story. That's interesting. Nice.
All
So,
right.
so what? Yeah. So, how is co-living helping for you, and how did you fall into that strategy? Because that is something different that maybe not a lot of people heard. They heard of the midterm, the short term, the long term. How did co-living come across your strategy, and why did you choose that? And how does that work for you?
Yes. So all the 6 doors that I had acquired were local. Then what happened is when I joined the community, because I had numerous friends throughout the country, I ended up buying a house on the West Coast, Phoenix. So what happened is I was doing Airbnb. It was successful. It was during the peak of Airbnb, but then the market was flooded. There were almost 158,000 Airbnb doors in the market. So the prices just plummeted the daily rates, and it was very difficult to get an Airbnb guest. So when I realized that, I switched to midterm. Midterm, I gave it to a real estate agent. And one thing you need to realize is you are the owner, you're like the parent of the property. You have a property manager, you have an agent, you have hundreds of people, but they are like the babysitters. So it's like when you do it, it's like ninja style. You wake up at 4 a.m. until 3 a.m. You are just like banging every possible door to get a renter. 2, 3 months it didn't get rented. Also, the market conditions were not that great. Everything was an influx transition. So then I got a renter. They signed for 6 months, but there was a family emergency. They left in 2.5 months. So I again went ninja style. I went after midterm renters. Hundreds of them I contacted. And then finally, I I found a renter, but they came after 2 months. So in this time period, if I did the math, 7 months, my property was 100% vacant. And before that, I would get a 400 here, a 300 here with Airbnb and VRBO. So then my house didn't have a pool. So that's when, right? It's every property. The zip code that my property was in, it was near bus stops. But the Airbnb and VRBO crowd, they would like to be in rich neighborhoods. So then it was like my property was yielding itself for a working class. There were so many company owners, executives, surgeons who wanted my house, but then they did not like the neighborhood. So it would come so close. They would say, "I'm going to be paying you for 6 months." Then they would come and they'll be like, "Well, I'm so sorry. I'm not very happy with the neighborhood," and they'll just walk away. So then I realized, okay, this is the property that I have. This is the neighborhood that I bought it in. So what do I do? That's where community comes in, right? I was on a call. There is a person called Aaron in the Midwest, and he runs a call every week. So I get on his call. So I was on his call, and they said, "Ugly babies, pad split." I brought my property up and I told them 7 months it was vacant in a year. And I said, plus I just got 400, 200. They said, "Pad split, baby." And that is when I had heard pad split from our community, but I hadn't met anyone who was so successful with pad split. So again, right, you have to educate yourself. So I joined a lot of free education programs in the evening. I watched a lot of YouTube videos. I packed myself with ammunition, and then boom, I went and I was very successful.
Nice, nice. Man, I just love to hear when we're faced with a challenge,
Yes.
right? And then we lean on the community. As you just said, I went to a training because I hear a lot of people all the time, "I don't got no time to get on no training." Had you not got on that training, how would your pivot have looked? Right. Second
ugly.
question I wanted to ask you was
Even in the shower, I had the phone and I had a YouTube video going on. Yes.
so the markets in terms of your favorite
Turbulence.
market. You got a property here in Detroit.
Yes.
You got a property in Arizona. You got properties in Massachusetts. You got property in Texas. Like, where is Hannah, like, in terms of what's your favorite market, so to speak?
Right now, it's the West Coast because co-living is a strategy that's killing it. Vacancy is the highest expense. And with vacancy, guess what happens? Squatters show up, the uninvited guests from roaches to squatters. So to eliminate all of that, co-living is the best because someone is always at the property, mostly 24/7. So your property is well taken care of. I told you this person came, left. Then a missionary couple came, but they came 1 to 2 months after the other person left. So during that time, once there were squatters in the property, even this missionary couple, they went for a missionary tour. Properties were not, if squatters were knocking on the doors and the windows, the neighbors called me. Immediately, I called other neighbors and they went and they drove the squatters away. So this is why it was so important to me. I'm like, I am not wasting a single day. Even before they went, I had contractors in the unit, checking the unit, measuring the unit, coming up with the plan, and then I went ninja style.
Ninja style. I love that. So let me ask you this, Hannah. So you got a saying, profits and purpose can and should coexist, right?
Yes.
Can you give us an example or a time where you had to sacrifice one for the other?
Yes, many times. Most of my tenants, they are low income. So I bend backwards to accommodate them. Once a police officer was going through some investigation. I know he was a good man. It was just some politics. He didn't pay me for 5, 6 months. I did not chase him out. But after 6 months, he got his retirement settlement and he paid me. There was a pastor in Detroit. They come from a pastor's family. He's a school teacher. 8, 9 months he didn't pay me. I worked. Even now, I have 10 days to get them out of the house. 6. I am contacting so many agencies in the evening after work, and I'm trying my best to help them stay. And a few weeks ago, a tenant came, they hadn't paid for 3.5 months, almost 4. They came and they cried to me, and I took them to a government office and I helped them. Another veteran, I gave him a notice to quit. He left. He slept in a subway station, a bee bit him, and he was in the hospital. Then I went and took him to a government agency, and we all worked together, and now he has a place to stay. So this is why humanity is so important. My father wrote 200 letters to the government and he got a pension. With that, we had a roof over our head. Even though we had torn clothes, sometimes we had to starve, torn slippers, all that suffering, unable to pay the school fees, which was $3 for the year, by the way. But still, we were able to have a roof over our head because of my dad's persistence. So that is why I bend backwards. I once had a Section 8 tenant. COVID hit. 6 months, they couldn't find the paperwork. I still had them in my unit. Yes. And even now, there are other tenants who have moved in. The agencies are still sorting it out, but my tenants are living in my units. Yes.
And my last question is all of your spaces living spaces, or do you have any co-work spaces, like maybe like?
No, I don't have any co-work spaces. I've
Okay.
always been a little careful because in where I live in the Northeast, for example, this company EMC, so many other companies, they have large buildings that are vacant. That too, after COVID, there are so many abandoned malls in the US. There are um, so many office spaces that are vacant. I constantly see for lease office space signs. So that is why I was like, and it's also going to be too much of a maintenance nightmare if you're literally going to do cubicle by cubicle. Yeah. So I was like, co-living, the average stay at a co-living is 6 to 8 weeks. So that worked much better. Yeah. Mine are staying for much longer. Yes. Yeah.
All right, well, we're on that topic. Let's keep that one going. So, in real estate, we always ask ourselves, who are we looking to serve? Now, with this co-living model, who is your avatar? Who is your customer that you're looking for?
Yes, it's mostly young professionals, students, single professionals who want to save money and who cannot afford a, a studio or a living space on their own. So I did look up a few statistics today. So young professionals, right? Yes, 60% of them nationally cannot afford their own living space. 68 to 73% cannot. Students and interns, more than 50%. If you see California, so many students are living in their cars. Digital nomads, right? 46%, they're cost burdened. And people who relocate, right? They want to find affordable studios. 95% are struggling to find something that they could afford. So that is why co-living is such a great model. Once I was on an Uber drive with a professor. He worked at a community college. I think he worked at a couple of community colleges, but he couldn't pay his rent. So he was working at Starbucks. So that's the demographics you're going after. Yes.
Okay, good. And it's good always doing that research beforehand so that
Yes.
way you have that in mind. All right. So with that being said, the next thing I'm thinking about after my customer base is like I'm thinking about operations. Like how do you operate a co-living space? What is like do they get to share bathrooms, kitchens? Do they have their own lock on their door? Like how does it work?
Yes. So the house has a numeric lock. So it's like a hybrid. It's like a hybrid dog between an Airbnb and a midterm. So you have locks on each door. The entrance has a lock. And there are two ways of doing it. You can create an LLC and make all your tenants the members of that LLC. There are a lot of people doing that, and I know of some of them. And the other model is right now I decided not to do it because I just entered it. So I want to gain some experience and also test the model if this is the model that works for me. Then the second option is use a, a tool like PadSplit. PadSplit is like the Airbnb, VRBO. So you use PadSplit and you get all the support. They do help you with some of the operations as well. For example, they have a bulletin board where all the members, they can go and they can put their maintenance tickets. So at the end of the day, I just look at the maintenance tickets and I assign it to my different property managers. So they have a portal, and 80 to 90% of my rooms they have filled. So, and as I told you, vacancy is the biggest expense. So when a room is vacant, I do put in some effort as well, but they always, most cases, they beat me to it. There was a room that was vacant in Phoenix. I was thinking of putting an ad, but I had a lot of work Monday to Friday in the office. Then, boom, they got me a tenant in 24 or 48 hours after my room was vacant. Yes, that's why you have to invest in the right market. That's extremely important. Yeah, you can't be in a bad co-living market and then expect to have that demand.
Hey, wait, I just want her to repeat that. Putting the tenants on the same entity, and are you saying those tenants then
Yes.
actually rent it from you, or they actually have?
Yes, because most of the cities in the country have a rule where you can rent your unit to one entity or one individual. So that is the rule that you are circumventing. When you rent to Pad Split, you're signing your agreement with Pad Split. That's why 90 to 95% of the court cases they won. Hundreds of cities took them to court, but they won because they are renting from you. Cool.
Oh, I love it. I did not know that. That is cool. That's how we work around.
Work around. And
That
then
is good.
you don't know what they you rented to one entity. Let's leave it at that.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Can
And
I
that's what this
bring up?
community.
I was gonna say, go ahead, Jerry. Finish your statement.
No, I was just gonna say the benefits of the community and the knowledge that we share amongst each other. Sometimes it
Yes.
just drips off the table, and people don't even really realize that. Oh my
Yes.
God, I've been sitting around this all that time, just didn't know what we didn't know. But now you know.
Yes, yes. And it's
Yeah.
also
Oh,
the community, right? When it comes to operations. Have you used a plumber in Dallas? Like I had to, the transition of co-living, right? I had a large couch in my living room, and the builder was like, where do I put it? In the kitchen, in the laundry area? So then I sent my friend. In 15 minutes, they solved the problem. They cut up the couch into 3 to 4 sections. Each section just went into one of the rooms. 15 minutes, 5 guys. What 5 guys couldn't solve with the builder and his team. My friend went, she is an Airbnb ninja. She has done hundreds of Airbnbs. She solved it in 15 minutes. She's like, well, guys, let's partition the sections. Partition. This goes here. This goes here. This goes here. That's it. This is like a 10-day conversation every evening. But then 10 minutes she solved it. So
woo. Power of experience in relationships saves you
yes,
so much time.
yes.
Go. I was going. Well, Bobby, come on. He gonna ask you a question, or maybe we get into your classes. But I did want to bring up one of your places. I was thinking about the 322 location,
Yes,
Phoenix.
yes.
Maybe just to give viewers just a glance. I think that place is absolutely beautiful. What do you call it again? Your villa?
The
or what?
Marble Villa. That was my
Marble Villa.
25th wedding anniversary gift to myself. And that's when I joined the community. So yes, 20 years of like going at snail pace for 6 years, and then 14 years of not doing anything in addition to what I was doing, just the 6 stores. I joined the community and I gifted myself this. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, what we do, I bring that up right after the classes, Bobby, and we will take a peek at one of her properties. Marble Villa. You're gonna see why it's called that in a minute.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Hannah, could you explain these classes and how they helped you get to where you're at today?
Yes, the short-term rentals, he outlines everything. How do you furnish a bedroom? How do you furnish the living room? What are the amenities that you need? So for co-living, I had to experience and come up with my own checklists. But Randall Cloud does an amazing job. He shares checklists, so many strategies. And in life as well, right? It's one experience builds on the other. So Airbnb, I'm so grateful for the experience I had there. I learned about customer service. I learned about the hotel industry through Randall's classes and also my own experience. So co-living, I was able to build on that. Yep. So his classes were phenomenal. They were so useful. Multifamily day one, right? He did all the math and he explains how multifamilies are the best. And also, I do co-living, but remember, co-living is like multifamily, right? You're splitting the single family into multiple doors. So it's been very good. And the multifamilies that I bought in Massachusetts, I when I was doing the 6 doors, I got a couple of single families, and that was not a smart decision at all. The multi-families that I got in my state and other states, they have been amazing. The reason I like co-living is that's where it's like the golden touch. A single family transitions into a multi-family, and these single families, when you have good contacts with wholesalers, you can get them. Even now, I have my friends have deals in Dallas, they have deals in Phoenix, but Phoenix, I'm getting more for the room rent. At the end of the day, you are running a business, so you're looking at the numbers. So that's why I decided to go with you. And when you're a real estate investor, multifamily, right? Taxes, insurance, your principal, interest, everything, all those factors. So when I look at all the numbers, Phoenix is better. So I decided to choose the Phoenix property that my friend is selling.
Mm-hmm. And how about tax strategies? How did that help you out?
Yes, I was a W-2 earner for decades. After I took the tax strategies class, I implemented so many strategies and I saved so much in taxes. Yes.
Very nice. Very nice.
So much. So it's not what you make as well, what you are able to keep. Few weeks ago, I was talking to a member in the community. He did his MBA from a college in the Northeast, and he made 600,000 in real estate, buying, selling houses, investing in real multi-families. He paid only $6,000 in taxes because he's a full-time real estate professional and all that. Yeah. So
very nice.
tax
Very
strategies
interesting.
is king. Yes.
Nice. Y'all heard that. Y'all heard that. Tax strategies is king. Get your strategies together for your LLCs, your S corps, and how you want to set up your properties, so you can take advantage of the tax strategies and get some more money back and keep Uncle Sam out of your pocket. All right, what's up with this marble villa? I'm interested.
All right, so let me go ahead and bring up Marble.
Yes. So this is a beautiful home, and I fell in love with the home. Remember, for 14 years, I was deprived. So I kind of like fell in love with this and I bought it. But this is where, right, I was just starting to take my classes. I kind of didn't do my numbers right. So when I bought it, it was not something that would cash flow. But then the real estate agent showed me the Airbnb numbers. So they told me, oh, you're going to make 8,000, 9,000, 10,000. But that is only 3 to 4 months in the 12-month period, because in the summers, it's very hot in Phoenix. It's very difficult to get tenants. So this is a beautiful home. Hundreds of my friends advised me to get rid of it. But then one thing is, when you come from a poor family, you're tenacious. No is not something that you accept right away. So you keep like plowing and plowing. You just find a way out. And co-living was that miraculous way out for me to keep this property, because I was bleeding badly. And there you go. Pad split and co-living came knocking like the angel of life for this house, for sure.
Hey, so let me get this right. You said all the people who weren't doing real estate, who
Yes.
wasn't in the market, wasn't close in your, they were telling you to do what?
Like, get rid of this, get rid of this. This is like the biggest thorn in your flesh. Yes.
So I just wanted you to repeat that, because that's what we have in around us, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
family, we love our families, right? But they don't know what we're learning.
Yes.
They're not in the community. So
Yes.
all of the things that they thinking
Yes.
is a part of their experience.
Yes.
Not that they're wrong, right? They
Yes.
want to protect you. They want to
Yes.
we
Yes.
want the best for you,
Yes.
but they don't have the right answers for you.
Yes, they don't have the knowledge, they
No.
don't have the expertise. And as a real estate investor, you have to be a risk taker. You have to be like, why not co-living? Why don't I try it? But at the same time, you have to get educated. The numbers, how does this work? How can I maximize profits? How do I sequence the different tasks? How do I execute it? Yes. So
Yes, for sure. We got questions in the chat. We got some good questions in the chat. So let's get to them, Sean. I know Bobby is supposed to do this.
I'm just gonna grab my
So you want to do the questions or you want to do the
No,
announcements?
go ahead and do the announcements real quick. That
All
way
right.
we
Cool.
can get the questions. Fly through them.
All right, Hannah, we're gonna do a brief second where we bring up some announcements, let people know what else we got going on today that they can join and be a part of. And then we'll come back and we ask a few questions from the audience and see what they want to ask you.
awesome.
All right, make some noise for Hannah. She is definitely bringing you the juice this Sunday morning. We appreciate your knowledge and education and sharing with the people what is possible, regardless of where you came from and just the opportunities that present themselves and how you took advantage of it. All right, so every Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern, you want to be right here every Sunday morning. Make sure you tell friends on the Juice Show where we bring you different guests and, we have different conversations and just, letting you know how the community works and how we can all work together to make things happen. All right. And where do we get that information from? All right, coming up at 10:30 Central, 11:30 Eastern, right here, the introduction to real estate investing with our very own Mr. Jerry Ruffin. All right, so this shows you who we are, what we do, and how you can get involved. All right, so this is something that you're interested in. Please check us out because we will give you a little bit more information. And we also have communities if you need support and don't feel like you need any education. We have everything covered, laid down for you, and he'll go deeper into depth. And that is today coming up right after the Juice Show at 10:30 Central, 11:30 Eastern. Also, if you are trying to make some phone calls, make sure you make the call, secure the deal with the very own, the great James Gavin himself, cold calling marathon, where he is on the phone with different prospects to find properties, to get different properties and speak to. If you are unfamiliar with cold calling, he's just picking up the phone and making the calls. This is how you secure the deal. This is how you get better at conversations and negotiations. All right, and that's coming up right 30 at 11:30 Eastern as well. All right. Also, we have the Real Estate Mastermind, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern. If you have any leads, this is where you can come get your deals analyzed, all right, and your questions answered. So they're going to sit down with a group of investors, and we're going to go through your lead to make sure it is a deal. And, they'll be asking the questions, how you found it, how you funded it, or what is your exit strategy. Make sure that everything is on the up and up to make sure that everything is a-okay for you to continue on to get to the closing table. All right. Cool. If you are on Facebook, make sure you like, follow, and review. Make sure you reach out to us. Let us know how we're doing. If you have any suggestions for us, please let us know in the comments. And if you came in late or love to see this podcast, you can also check us out because we have the reviews and the playbacks of our past podcasts. So make sure you like, follow, and review. If you're on Facebook, let us know. If you know somebody that we haven't had on the Juice Show yet, please let us know. There's a link to the Facebook page right there in the chat. So make sure you come and connect with us. All right? Cool. All right. Right now we got deals of the community. All right. Deals of the community. These are the people who's taken the classes, has the education, and taken action. So if you know someone and would love to see your name in bright lights, we would love to celebrate you. This is what we do. This is how we congratulate you and, to continue to build. And just to keep in mind, this is a small percentage of the people in the community. There's a lot more that we don't know about yet, but then again, we love to see the names in bright lights just to let you know how everything is going. All right. Cool. All right. Now we can get to these questions for Hannah. And LaShawn, if you'd like to start, if there's any in in the
In the
chat or on
chat.
Facebook.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So the first question is you grew over 500% in 3 years. If you had to credit that to one habit, Hannah, what would that be?
It would be persistence, guys. I had squatters in my property, and it was a long weekend. I drove to the proper. I traveled to the property, and as I was driving, I was so nervous, and that's when behind the truck I found the verse, "I will never leave you nor forsake you." I went in there, and in just a matter of hours, the squatters were out of there. I went in there and they left the door open by mistake. Went in there with my comforters. They were like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm here to stay. I'm going to just squat with you, just like you're squatting." And they were like, "We need our privacy." I was like, "Well," then we came up with, they first said, "We need our privacy, you need to go." But they realized I was not going. So then they came and we came up with a plan. They wouldn't pack. I had to pack everything, put all of their stuff in storage, get them a hotel. And it was persistence. You do not give up. The face of adversity, you don't give up. This property, I was getting only 1/10 or 1/20th the rent that I'm getting now. But still, I was persistent, didn't give up. Now I am driving into the sunset. So
Thank you. Thank you for that. Another question is what are the expenses most people overlook when running a co-living home?
yes. So you're going to have a higher electricity bill. So you have to constantly send your property manager and the other guests as well, right? You have to make friends with them. So in a property in Dallas, a guy moved in. He would be at work 12 to 16 hours, but he would leave the AC on. So I had to tell him, "Please, you can't be doing this." And once I went to a property after work, the AC was on, but I knew this person had left 7, 8 hours ago. So you have to constantly be at them, but still you have a heating bill if it's gas, the electricity bill, then you're paying for internet because it's 5, 6 people using. There's always a lot of issues. So you have to do a lot of research and get the right internet. So that is expense because you get an internet service, it doesn't work. So you get another internet service. So yes, internet. And then that's pretty much it. Airbnb, you have to do toiletries, you have to do so much cleaning. Once a month or once in 2 months, my cleaner cleans. And that too, there are students and other professionals, they do a 50 times better job. And they, the guests at the house, they clean it for me and they do such an amazing job. And so, boom, it's done. They are right there. You don't have to chase for a resource or a company. So that's how, yeah. So you have to learn to operate it more creatively and resourcefully. So you save a lot of expenses. Yeah. And then you have the neighbors. The neighbors don't want your property to be the sore thumb in the neighborhood. So they are like, yeah, with like mowing the lawn and all of that. Yeah. And so
Oh,
they,
nice.
and that's it.
Well,
Very
the good
nice.
part about Phoenix is that you don't have grass, so you don't have to do no lawn care because it doesn't.
Yes. Oh, I love that about Phoenix. Yeah. You have a false plastic lawn. Yeah. And the cleaner picks up a thing or two twice a year. That's about it. That's the lawn care. Yeah.
Right.
Wow,
Another thing
nice.
is you don't have to do for short-term rentals. You don't have to do laundry, which is really big expense for us.
Yes.
in our
No
business.
snow. Yes.
So another question is, do you allow your tenants to receive mail at your property, or do you require them to have a P.O. box to receive their mail?
Both. Like in Phoenix at the co-living house, they receive mail. But there is a casita in the back. And I told her to get a P.O. box because it's just going to be her. And it's not like people are constantly in and out of the property. So I asked her to, and I want to say something about this casita. I had to wait 3 months for the government to process paperwork. So I have an amazing tenant. She's so amazing. But I always had this fear, if she leaves, what do I do? Because when I put it on Airbnb, VRB, or a midterm, 2-3 months it will be vacant, then 1 or 2 months I'll have somebody. So I was always nervous. But now that I switched to the co-living model, she could vacate today, and in a week, I would get the same rent, top dollar, because I have the co-living strategy. So the co-living strategy eliminates a lot of anxiety, and also, yeah, anxiety at the bank as well.
Well, thank you. One other question is, what can we do as a community to add value to your real estate investing business?
Yes. So, for example, the markets that are good with co-living. So, as a community, that is where we come in, right? I could tell you that Dallas, though they say it's the best, there are struggles. I have heard from other investors as well, co-living Dallas is not the best. It's kind of a little saturated. So what I'm hearing is New York, top. It's like killing with co-living. Los Angeles, California, San Francisco, Miami, Florida, Boston, which I can understand because there are hundreds of colleges, Washington, D.C., Austin, Denver, Nashville, Atlanta, San Diego, Philadelphia, Chicago, Charlotte, North Carolina. So if people have houses in this market, they are struggling to cash flow. As a community, we switched to co-living, and I have done it 5 times. And even PadSplit was surprised by like my success in such a short span. So I was interviewed by them, and my interview is at the top of all the case studies. So
Yeah.
you want to hear from an expert. So it's both ways, right? But so many of my friends are saying they have a waiting list of 180 guests in Charlotte, North Carolina, in
Woo.
Atlanta, Georgia, Austin. I would love to know if that's true. So how do we do it? You have a house that's not doing well with midterm or long term. We switch it to co-living. Now we know how the market is doing. So it's both ways. And for you to switch it to co-living, you need to hear from an expert. You need to learn from an expert. So that's where if you just go in, so I hired a company that does a lot of remodels for PadSplit. They gave me a floor plan. I got in a builder and I did it. I was able to almost double my profit, my profit margin, because I implemented my own floor plan. So this is why you want to go with someone kind of knows the rules, how you could implement a successful PadSplit. So it's both ways. Yeah.
Hey, Hannah, my quick question, right, is that when the property that you got that we just looked at, how many beds and bath was it at first? And then after you were done with it, how many did you add, like additional?
Yes. So guys, I was dying for you to ask me this question. Thank you. So I did not want to step on your shoes. Well, when I bought it, it was a 3-bed in the front and a 1-bed in the bath. The 1-bed, as I told you, if the tenant leaves today, in a week it will become 2-bed. And the 3-bed in the front, the only way I'm cash flowing is the dining room. The dining table is now in the kitchen. So the dining room became a room, and the living room became the room. And remember, I had this expensive couch that just got sliced up and put in all the rooms. So I have 5 beds. A 3-bed became 5-bed. Remember, you've signed the lease with PadSplit. So you've signed, you've given your house over. So then after that, you just go and slice and dice it. And there was this ADU at the back. When I bought it, there was an ADU. So now I am putting an ADU. Because, yes, the ADU needs an ADU.
Wow.
Yes.
More beds, more heads, more bread. All right.
Thank you.
This is
So
this.
are there any
Go ahead.
questions on Facebook?
No. I would.
Alrighty, back to you guys.
Yeah, I concur. Drakar says, thank you for this information, Hannah. What can we do as a community to add value to your real estate investing business? And
Another thing, guys, I met a few people in
Oh,
a
we covered that
community.
one.
They
yeah,
have 300 to 400 units, but they always partner and they invest. For example, there was a wholesale guy. He didn't have money to invest. He met a real estate agent who gave him $8,000. Now he has 140 doors because he was a ninja at getting deals, and others came along and they invested. There was a college student whose grandmother passed away. He gave this man his 80,000, and then he did so well in the deal, he rewarded the college student by paying him 100,000 back in addition to the 80,000. So
wow.
he's like, I'm just not going to take the money. So that's what community, right? It becomes your family. So as I told you, I came here as an immigrant. So my family is far away, and all these tax strategies, it's so alien and foreign to them. So I enjoy the community. This is my family. When I am in need, I just pick up the call. Yeah. I'm like, I would like to do a couple of deals. I have a great team in Dallas. And I was like, just doing the numbers. Phoenix worked better. So I told this whole, he was continuously bringing me 3 to 4 deals in Dallas. So I was like reluctant because it's seller financing. So it's a very low entry point. So I was like, okay, I could do Dallas. And, but then boom, couple of hours, he had a deal in Phoenix. And I'm like, yeah, baby.
Man,
We know the game.
this was
Yeah,
so
baby.
this
Right
was
now,
so
it
this
has 3 beds. 1 year from now,
this
call me.
this was so amazingly like powerful. Um like how you turn the short-term rental strategy into your niche, right? I'm so proud of you, Hannah. Thank you for coming and sharing your story, right? It's so powerful. The people that have took that time off, or like, I've been doing real estate, but I had this challenge, so I just sat down, and they just kind of somewhat given up. Your story is the epitome of keep going, keep fighting, keep moving forward, and if you having challenges, make sure you surround yourself by the people who aren't the naysayers, who are doing what you are inspired to do, because they're gonna push you, right? So that's the message that I got from this today. I'm super mad that we didn't get you saying come and join us on the Juice Show. I'm mad at that, but thank you for coming and sharing your story, Hannah. Man, I just got so much to say. I'm so proud of you. Good job.
Thank
Keep
you,
doing what
Jerry.
you're
And I'm
doing.
so proud of you guys as well. Everything that you guys accomplish as your community, and your markets are hot. Virginia, New York, they're killing with co-living. I would just like to end with this. I was at a local meet and I met a lady. Her father had given her 3 houses in Phoenix. One she sold for a very low price. The other one has been vacant from last February. So 18 months it's been vacant for long term. She could do the co-living strategy, but this is where you have to be careful, right? Airbnb yields itself to arbitrage. Co-living, remember, you have to do the slicing and the dicing to put up walls, you have to put up a closet, all of that. So it doesn't yield itself, but still you could creatively do it. So this is why you need the community. She is not part of a community where there are members in Phoenix, but we have 78,000 members. They're in every state. So this is why being part of a community is huge. Her story would have been my story if not for the community and the golden nuggets that they keep giving. Yes.
You're gonna start hanging around people that's gonna talk to you about, hey, have you thought about creating a note inside of one of these? Oh my God, this is just gonna blow this thing out the water. Oh my God, my brain is going crazy with this now.
Yeah.
So I thank you. I gotta hop. Thank you for coming on to the Juice Show, Hannah. We will be bringing you back for a part 2 because I know some people here, it dropped some nuggets on them and they're like, man, what? Right? So thank you for coming on, sharing your story. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, oh no,
Hannah.
LaShawn, you come out.
Hannah, I just want to thank you for sharing your journey, your mindset, and your strategy with us today. Man, your story is proof that legacy, execution, and the purpose can change the game in real estate and beyond. So
And
we
the
appreciate
community.
you.
Yes,
Yes.
to almost a year and a half ago, a community member said she's doing co-living and she even shared her rental agreement with me. So she is renting the house to her LLC, and then the LLC is renting it to roommates, and she is killing it. She buys palatial houses, dirt cheap, has 10 to 15 people living in there, and she is making a killing. Each one of her properties, she's getting 10,000 a month. Yes.
Well,
So
we
you can start
appreciate you sharing your
somewhere,
gem.
snail space like me, or you could go grandiose like other community members.
Woo!
Well, we appreciate you sharing the gems today, Hannah. Thank you. All right, James.
Yeah, thank you, Hannah, for jumping on today. I was telling them like you are so sharp. When I seen you on your property tour, you had your slideshow presentation. You were going through data and numbers, right? I love it, right? And I was like, well, today I just want to get your story. And so we'd definitely probably like for you to come on another time and just do a presentation on pad splits and co-living, because like you are so sharp when it comes to that strategy. And I'm glad that you have a story that led up to that strategy that you sharing, from going from, long-term rental, mid-term rental, short-term rental, then landing on co-living, which actually worked, and now cash flow. So thank you for being persistent and sharing your story on the Juice Show podcast. I'm going to turn it over to Bobby as he closes
Just
on
one
out.
last thing before you turn it over to Bobby. The government has saved 38 billion because of pad split, because the homeless cost them a lot more. So cities like Denver, and there are cities in California, they pass rules where they favored co-living and pad split,
That's right.
because you prevent homelessness, you prevent
Right.
acute poverty, and the government is saving billions.
Woo!
Yes, it's an
Wow.
all-round winner. Go, baby, go.
Man, she has gems and nuggets for days. I hope everybody's taking note. Hannah, once again, we appreciate your time. Thank you for sharing your story. And we really appreciate you. And we're definitely going to have you back. So with that said, we're going to give your Sundays back. Make sure you check us out on the calendar at 11:30, what we have going on. And you have been
Juice,
Juice by Hannah.
juice by Hannah. Yes.
You
Kim.
guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. We will see you next week. Until then, take care. We love y'all. Peace.